Om praptam jadvai tu anadi nidanam vedo dadhing matitva dattam yasya prakarane harihara brahmadi devair balam purnam yattu pranasaruir bhaumo narayananam Ramakrishnas tanung dhatte tatpurna patramidam bhoho Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The nectar which has been obtained by churning the infinite ocean of the Vedas, into which Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva and other gods have poured their strength, which is charged with the life essence of the avatars, gods incarnate on earth. Sri Ramakrishna holds that nectar in his person in its fullest measure, and we salute him again and again. Om peace, peace, peace be unto us all. Today our subject is Ramakrishna, the embodiment of Shiva nature. Ramakrishna is the embodiment of all gods and goddesses. Ramakrishna is the embodiment of the total renunciation, absolute love for humanity, service to humanity, to redeem everyone from their suffering. He is ever ready to do that. And Shiva is the ancient god of India, who is called most auspicious. And what is auspicious? That which takes a person from ignorance, that is auspicious. What is auspicious? That which can take away our ignorance and suffering, and this suffering of this living in this duality, plane of duality. So that auspicious means God is auspicious. So therefore auspicious means what? That takes us beyond ignorance, suffering, pain, fear, and this duality. And what is inauspicious means that leads us towards pain, towards rebirth, towards attachment, towards suffering and ignorance. So Shiva nature is always there to help us, to take away from our worldly suffering. Shiva is the embodiment of Indian spiritual tradition, Indian spiritual ideal. As Swami Vivekananda said, that India's national ideal is renunciation and service. And we find that that ideal is personified in Shiva, Shiva's description. Shiva, that's why he is worshipped from the north to the south, to the east to the west of whole of India. We may find that some worship is more in some other place, but Shiva is the worship by the monks, all renouncing monks. Shiva is worshipped by the people who live in the household life. Even Shiva is worshipped by young girls to get a husband like Shiva. Because he's so loving, so caring, so pure and stainless. There is no world and worldliness in Shiva. We find that Shiva is lying at the feet of Mother Kali. There you see, Shiva is snow white, meaning the purity, the stainless character, and totally absorbed in the other world, in the deep samadhi, where there is no world, there is no touch of duality, and there is no pain, no suffering, no nothing, and the absolute oneness is there, and he is merged into that consciousness. And that Shiva nature, Shiva is normally considered as a mythical god in India or in every country. When you say these are not realistic people like you and me walking in the street, talking to you, like avatars. There's a distinction between avatars. You know, Christ moved on the ground of the earth. Buddha walked on the streets and gave message and gave the touch of spirituality and freedom. Ramakrishna, they are human. But when you go to Shiva, when you go to Kali, we call them mythicals. Mythical because it is not, we cannot see physically with these physical eyes. Of course, Ramakrishna said he has seen in the physical eyes also. That's an exceptional thing. But for most of these people, Shiva is seen in a purer, state of mind. It is seen in the mind. And the pure mind that is experienced. So it is not in the physical plane, but in a subtle plane. So that's why it is called myth. But it is not myth. This Shiva cannot be considered as myth, because when Shiva, that ideal, we find in some person, then we cannot say it is myth, it is a reality. Ramakrishna stands there, not the embodiment of the Shiva ideal of total renunciation, ideal of sacrificing his life for the good of others, taking the poison himself to help the gods and demons who are fighting with each other. For their blessings, he is taking the poison. Sri Ramakrishna similarly suffered, not for his own any need. He is so pure, but taking the sins or the karmas of others, he had to suffer himself. So we find that Shiva nature, that nature, the divine nature, which is only giving and which is only to redeem everyone's suffering, whoever may be the person or whatever may be the condition, to take him out of this world of duality and suffering, that is very rare in the world, and that is the Shiva nature. And that Shiva nature, Shiva's natural tendency is to help. That's why he is called Ashutosha. Ashu means quick, Tosha means satisfied. You can satisfy Shiva very quickly by simply putting some little bell leaf and little water and they say Om Namah Shivaya. Oh, Shiva finds, oh my, he's my great devotee. And then he will just come forward to redeem, even for unasked for. That's why Shiva place is called Varanasi. Benaras is the Shiva's place. And Shiva's people go to die there. Why? Because Shiva will redeem everyone. Whatever bad thing, good thing you have done, don't consider anything. Just go and die there. Then Shiva will come. And then liberation is just in your hand, no? So that is the Shiva nature. His intrinsic nature is to just, he cannot bear the suffering of others. So he takes. We find that Shiva nature is perfectly manifested in Sri Ramakrishna's character. That's why Ramakrishna, embodiment of Shiva nature, we are trying to think on these lines. Particularly this month was Ramakrishna's birthday, as also Shiva's Shivarite. So we are just to think of Shiva as Ramakrishna is a wonderful idea. Swami Vivekananda, in his composition of the Shiva hymns, he said that I worship Shiva, in whom ideas of cause and effects, thoughts and impress, and countless varied forms become the real one. The ideas of cause and effect. Everything is a cause of creation, cause of destruction. Thoughts and impresses and countless varied forms, all the different forms of divine expressions, they all meet in that real one. He says, he from whom all darkness is dispersed, he who destroys sin and removes the dark stains of our age, that is the Shiva, whom there is no darkness in him, no sin, and he is always ready to take away the sin of others, whose benign eyes watch over all who have surrendered to him. He is always gracious, looking at who is getting to get redeemed, to be redeemed from their suffering. Look at him. Who joyously sacrifices himself in the good of others. That's a beautiful character, or a rare character. Joyously sacrificing himself for the good of others. And that whose throat is blue from others drinking the poison intended for others. That's just an opposite character. If there is any problem, let the problem go to others. But Shiva is there that he wants to take the problem of the others on his own shoulder and redeems him. Shiva, that's why Shiva is pure like infinite sky. He's the Lord of all, and no Lord over him, overlord, by whom all delusion is destroyed. It's just Swamiji's idea. Ideas of in whom wind of change is come. There is no change, it's always perfect peace, perfect reality there, neither within, neither without. These are the auspicious qualities of Shiva. And Shiva's nature embodies these divine traits. When we find in Sri Ramakrishna all these traits, from the very beginning we find that Sri Ramakrishna is born from birth to his whole life and till at the end. This Shiva nature, these Shiva characteristics can be found and we can contemplate on them. Before Ramakrishna was born as in a body, we all know that story. That the Mother Chandra Devi, she was talking to some village lady in front of a Shiva temple, Jugi's Shiva temple. And she suddenly saw that the Shiva Lingam become alive and it became full of effulgent light. And that light, it filled the inner sanctum and sanctorium, and then it came out and just fell into her. And she felt that the stream, the beam of light from Shiva entering into her, and she totally lost the outer consciousness in the Shiva Nation. This is the very beginning, before birth. And that mood, in the village people don't understand. Naturally, they thought it is some ghost has taken possession of her. But she remained in that mood for such a length of time. Totally, you can remain in the unconscious state. And where was his father, Ramakrishna's father, Kshudiram? He was in a far distant place in the Gaya, where he went to offer the oblation for the forefathers. And there we find that he is having a dream, we call dream, it's a vision. And he finds that the Lord of the world with 4 arms and holding conch shell, shankha, chakra, what is called the discus, and chakra is Gada, the mace, and Padma, the lotus. That Lord appeared and he said, Khudiram, I am very happy and pleased with you. I want to be born as your child. So, you see, we can say Shiva, we can say Krishna or Narayana also, but we are talking today of emphasizing on the Shiva ideal. So when this mother felt here, then Kshudiram was there in Gayadham. And when Kshudiram came back, wonderful transformation started happening because Shiva has taken shelter in the womb of the mother. And this mother, ordinary village woman, she's not sophisticated, does not know much learning, didn't go to school. But she used to see gods and goddesses like I am seeing you. He used to see, one day he saw that his elder son, Ram Kumar, he went to a distant village for priestly work. That was the way their all earning comes. But he is gone and it is becoming late, noon time, it's almost crossing noon. She is getting restless when he will come. as mothers do for the children. And then he saw one God, divine entity, riding over what you call swan, and just appeared and going like that, as we see that somebody is coming. And she's so innocent. She said, instead of us saying, saluting the God and divine, this nothing. She said, hello, where are you coming from? And she said, oh, I am coming from that village. Oh, you are coming from that village? Did you see my son? And he said, yes, I've seen. He's coming, don't worry. He's coming now, soon. So he's talking to gods and goddesses, which are mythical figures. Brahma's form is riding on the swan. So anyhow, and many other gods and goddesses. Mother Lakshmi, she saw one day Mother Lakshmi. And this type of, that means the mind, you see, mystic vision, spiritual vision comes to where? It comes to the mind. Which mind? A pure mind. When the mind is pure and it gets its own sanctity, in the divine level, different planes are here. We live in this world. That's why this worldly scene is real for us. When you go to dream world becomes real to us. So when the mind becomes very pure, then only you can see the different gods and goddesses and angels, whatever. These are not myths. Myths to us, because we don't understand that. If we say this is real, that is also real. If you say this is unreal, that is also unreal. That's why Vedanta says, this is unreal, God's goddess is unreal, even the creator God is not there. I am Shivoham, Shivoham. They don't get stuck into any area. Because if you say this is real and gods and goddesses are unreal, it is a misconception you are putting on. You cannot, this is also mind, that's also mind. But that's a purer mind. If impure mind becomes real, why not the purer mind what it shows? How can you say it is to be ignored? So that becomes spontaneous in the mother's vision. They say really to think about that how this transformation, because God has taken shelter with her. That's why all the divine gods and goddesses are like a common day experience to see and talk like as we talk with our known people, friends and our guides. No? And then we find that when Ram, his father came back, that story you also know. It is recalling is good. This type of, it is maybe I am speaking, repeating the same thing most of the time because I cannot create something new. In the life of Ramakrishna, can I create some new news? So some imaginary thing I can put in the name of Ramakrishna, that I can do. But it is the fact, these are the happenings, these stories. So we'll have to go again and again to impress in our mind what is the spirituality like. Then what happened? Then this transformation in the mother. And also, they are not very well-to-do. But when this mother conceived this baby, and suddenly the wealth and prosperity of the home, earning of the house increased. The material development, spiritual development, all is happening when auspicious thing comes there. And then, see, Kshudiram came back, and as soon as he came back, the Chandra is talking to husband. So you are not here? You see, I saw some Shiva's light coming into me, and I am conceived somebody is inside. What will happen to today's society? Oh, something wrong in you. But he said, no, don't talk these private things to people. God is getting incarnated in our home. So you are blessed. So we have to pray every day so that he his coming becomes safe. And that is the beginning. And now, when the baby is born, that story you know, he becomes Shiva. Very birth, when the baby is born, in those days, midwife, that in village midwife, they used to take care. And first, she was taking care of mother. And when mother, by that time, is trying to find the baby. Baby is not found right and left. And with a lamp in the night, he is finding where is the baby. Baby is slipped into a place where there are some ashes, and his whole body is smeared with ashes, as is like Lord Shiva, smearing the body itself, the sign of renunciation, tremendous renunciation. So Shiva is the god of renunciation, and Shiva is born from the very beginning. It is a total renunciation, and that is the advent into the. Then we see that as he is growing, his early days, his tendency is meditation. Shiva meditates. Shiva dances in the where? In the cremation ground. Why cremation ground? This world, that is the ultimate end of everything. All our name, fame, power, position, pomp and grandeur, where does it end? End in few ashes. And that is in the cremation ground. And that in India, cremation ground is open cremation ground. Here we have sophisticated cremation. So you put the body inside and nobody knows what has happened. After some time you go back and they will give you some ashes. But India, they see that cremation, it brings tremendous understanding about life. Oh, I love this body. My body will be like that. And it will burn, and it will be ashes, and it will turn everything to ashes. So that, and there comes renunciation. Even any person sitting in the cremation ground and watching this scene will, his mind be filled. Oh my God. Say, the impermanence of this world will be deeply imprinted. So here, and that is the place for the monks to go and meditate. That's why Sri Ramakrishna, a boy, small boy, without anyone's inspiration, he used to go to Budhui Modal. There is a cremation ground. Near very home, there is another cremation ground. He used to go there and sit for meditation from the early childhood. That Shiva nature is manifesting that way. And impermanence is so deep, it is becoming deeper, that his spirit is becoming totally Shiva-like. And that then afterwards, when he was growing, then the Shiva night happened, that story of the Shiva night, when they tried to find somebody to play on the Shiva's role, and the person was sick, so he was invited to play on the role. But as soon as he entered into the stage, well dressed in the Shiva attire, and with the trident and everything, and everyone was excited to see how beautiful he looks. And then, that mood, he lost his own awareness and entered into Shiva consciousness. And he left, and he remained, and then the entire play is being disturbed. And then he has to go, and he was unconscious like that at least 3 days. So these are the that is what is intrinsic in us that manifests in our life, no? The nature, as Swami Vivekananda said, that the nature, intrinsic nature, manifests as soon as the baby is born, no? Say a duck, as soon is hatched, duck duck will go towards the water. And there is hen, and that will go into the ground. It's the intrinsic nature. You need not have to say why, what. That is the Shiva nature is going towards renunciation, going towards meditation. So he is the embodiment of meditation. Shiva is the embodiment. He lives in samadhi. Sri Ramakrishna's life, as we look at from the beginning to the end, it is only meditation and samadhi. Even in coming to Dakshineswar, when he is there, he is engaged in prayer after doing puja, that's also meditation. After finishing that puja, as soon as it is done, he used to go into the deep wooded area, Panchavati, and then start what he is doing. Meditation. Whole night what he is doing. Whole night meditation. So it is an intrinsic nature, Shiva nature, which is giving, and ultimately night passed through that type of deep concentration. Hridaya Ram sometimes tried to think that is too much. He is getting crazy. And what to do? So he wanted to make him feel frightened. So what he did, he used to throw stones when he is meditating, no? But he is unaware of everything. And he gave up ultimately disturbing anything. So that is the Shiva nature is there, and Sri Ramakrishna then came to say, first we saw he's embracing the Shiva Lingam, and he's saying, "Oh Shiva, your glories are immeasurable glories. Even Mother Saraswati tries to write your glory on the page of the earth, because this book, this page is only small, how much you can write." So Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, she needs to write her infinite knowledge. And she tries to continue to write, still your glories cannot be expressed. Asita giri shamam mishat siddhupatre surataru balasakha Sarada sarvakalam tadapi tava mahima mahi na jane. So even the Mother Saraswati tries to write the glories of Shiva. Oh Shiva, your glories is, she will not be able to finish Mother Saraswati herself. And Ramakrishna remembered this mantra and then went into Shiva temple and embraced the Shiva and sat on it, because he's not in his own consciousness. So naturally the local, all the priests, and they are very upset. This guy is madness, there should be a limit of madness. But he has no sense, and he's riding on the Shiva Linga itself. And someone is so strong, we'll beat him, we'll strike him. Anyhow, then we know that Ma Mathur came in to rescue, and he threatened that if anyone have the courage to touch Baba Ramakrishna, his head will be chopped down. I'll chop his head. So everyone got frightened. But the point is that he is not knowing all this disturbance and quarrel is going on around, but he is totally off from here. He is absorbed in his samadhi, in his nature of conscious, beyond that level of duality. So that is the Shiva nature. And we find that he is seeing, Mathur Babu seeing Ramakrishna. Mathur Babu was working from his office in Dakshineshwar, and that is visible where Ramakrishna's veranda on the other side, north and south, is walking, and he suddenly, east and west, he was walking on the northern side. And then he saw one side Ramakrishna is walking, and he saw it is not Ramakrishna, it is Lord Shiva with it holding a trident. And really he is seeing Shiva. And turning this way, coming back, it is the Mother Divine, Mother Kali. He thought that, am I hallucinating? So he could not believe it. So he became very concentrated. And then rubbing his eyes, second time he saw the Shiva walking one side and Mother Kali coming the other side. And third time when he saw, then he ran and fell at the feet of Ramakrishna and said, Baba, Baba, please tell me, who are you? Ramakrishna said, I am who are. Why are you doing all these things? I am ordinary man, and you are a babu. You are a landlord, and you are falling at my feet. Get up, people will talk about you bad. But he saw, he experienced Ramakrishna is Shiva and Kali, and of course others, but we are focusing on Shiva nature and Shiva. There is one description in Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda probably says, that now in the gospel is there. One day, he says, Ramakrishna saying, one day while worshipping Shiva, I was about to offer a bell leaf on the head of the image, when it was revealed to me that this Virata, this universe, itself is Shiva. After that, my worship of Shiva through the image came to an end. Another day, I had been plucking flowers when it was revealed to me that the flowering plants are so many bouquets. Then he said another incident. Once, Ramakrishna saying himself, once when I went to Benares, our boat was passing that Manikarnika Ghat on the Ganges, when suddenly I had a vision of Shiva. I stood near the edge of the boat and went into Samadhi. The boatman, fearing that I might fall into the waters, cried to Hriday, catch hold of him, catch hold of him. I saw Shiva standing on the ghat, embodying in himself all the seriousness of the world. At first I saw him standing at a distance. Then I saw him approaching me. At last he merged into me. So these are mystic visions of Sri Ramakrishna himself. That it is, he's seeing living Shiva on the bathing ghat, which is called Manikarnika. And then when he was looking at him, and he was almost going to fall into the Ganga, Hriday protected, hold him. And after that, he said, I saw Shiva standing on the ghat, embodying himself the seriousness of that means suffering of the world, as if he is pained at the suffering of the world. He was that mood. He was standing there. And ultimately, then I saw him approaching me. And at last, he merged in me. So, that is the idea that Shiva is Ramakrishna. Shiva is to take the suffering of others. Ramakrishna took the suffering of others. Another story we know. We are saying stories, but these are the visions and experiences of Ramakrishna himself. Ramakrishna was on the boat, and there is that burning, where the bodies are burned on that particular steps leading to the Ganga. He saw, what he saw? In a mystic vision he saw that Shiva is coming and giving the whispering the mantra in the ear of the departed. Who is departed? That's the question. He saw any who died, his body is to be cremated, and he has been brought, and then the Shiva came himself, and he is whispering the mantra. And Mother, Divine Mother, Maya, Mahamaya, this is called Annapurna. In Benares, it's called Annapurna. And he's untying the knots of his bondage. So, that means every soul is getting freed by the grace of Shiva and Mother, Divine Mother, Shiva Shakti. But he in his mystic vision, he is watching that, seeing that. And he has the vision, and that vision merges into him. That is the Shiva's wonderful character. That's why we find in him manifested every time. Sri Ramakrishna is the renunciation, ideal of renunciation. Holy Mother said, people talk about Sri Ramakrishna's glory. What is the Sri Ramakrishna's glory? People say, he is the embodiment, he is the harmonizer of all religions. He has inspired Naren, Rakhal and others to be world teachers. These are not enough description of Ramakrishna. Holy Mother said, Ramakrishna's best or highest thing is his renunciation, unparalleled renunciation. We know in Ramakrishna's life, detachment to kama kanchan, the lust and greed, is so impossible to touch him even. Even any impure thought, impure look, Ramakrishna could not bear. Someone is bringing that, you know that story, someone is bringing that jalebi. Jalebi is very like, Ramakrishna liked it. But he is bringing, and when he purchased Rambabu, Ramchandra Datta, and when he is bringing, and there is some poor boy, he was asking for, give me some, give me some, give me some. And because he was pestering, so ultimately Rambabu gave a few of the jalebis to that poor boy. That's a good job. And when he came, and Ramakrishna wanted jalebi, his very favorite, and he wanted to touch, and his hand sank. Then he said, Ram, where did you get it? Did you give anything before to anybody? That means the boy was greedily or hungrily desiring that thing first. That subtle thing he could not touch. He was established in truth. Someone used to bring a lemon, for Ramakrishna in the village, from the village. One of the direct disciples used to bring lemon from their own plant. And every day when Ramakrishna used to squeeze it in his meal, and that day he tried to pick up and it fell down in the ground. Second piece he tried to pick up and it fell down. And third also, or he could not touch that lemon that day. And then when, who was it? Niranjan or Jogin. So Jogin Maharaj is a young boy, he came, he used to supply from their own garden. So he said, Jogin, what happened? Where did you bring this lemon today? He said, I brought the same thing when I brought from my garden, as usual, our garden. But no, why then I could not touch it? It fell down from my hand. You inquire about. Well, no, I brought yesterday, day before yesterday, and all the days, and today also I brought it. So no question of, well, okay, you go and ask. And he asked and inquired. That lease that was leased to Jogin's family, but that lease was over the other day. Because the lease was over, it does not belong to them. So it is stealing. Ramakrishna cannot touch that. My God, have you ever heard that type of story? It's possible that you are stealing because it is stolen thing. He cannot take it. Truthfulness. In the world history, we don't find such stories that even they themselves do not know. Or who cares about the lease is over tonight or tomorrow? And in a paper sign, that is the date, and that date remains so much truthful, and Ramakrishna is catching that date even. So this is the point to be understood, that he is the embodiment of Shiva nature. Shiva is pure, stainless. That's why Ramakrishna is so pure, and he cannot touch the lustful thing or anything which is with the little desire or is perfectly to Shiva nature. Shiva does not care for anything in the world, no? Shiva lives in the cremation ground or in the Himalayas and in Samadhi, and he does not care for name, fame, power, position, people's praise, blame. Ramakrishna is exactly like that. People are talking so many things, who cares for that? Good or bad or all. So he is beyond all. That is the Shiva nature. Sri Ramakrishna, if we analyze the Sri Ramakrishna's life, this type of the renunciation, as we are talking, renunciation. Shiva, actually, that's why Shiva smears the body with ashes. There is no clothing. That's why space is the clothing. He is infinite, so what cloth can be there to cover Shiva? So that's why we find him with the ashes. And Ramakrishna's nature is, most of the time you see, he is ecstatic mood and going into samadhi, singing, dancing. Sometimes the cloth is there, sometimes this cloth is out. Even with the cloth, how nice he looks, no? Only one cloth covering something, half naked, you can say. And he's obvious, oblivious of all these things. And some gentlemen of Calcutta that time, they invited Ramakrishna to come because to listen to him. Then he withdrew their invitation. He said, because you will come and you will not be able to keep care of your dress and things, it will be embarrassment for us. So he does not care because he does not live in the level of us. He is in the highest level of renunciation. So this is the renunciation idea. Holy Mother said, Ramakrishna's renunciation is the highest. You know, gross stories are there. Mathur Babu, the landlord, he thought Ramakrishna is totally so much in God intoxicated, so his mind should be brought little down. So she made a trick. What? So he hired some prostitutes and asked them to pull mind of Ramakrishna down a little bit. So they were sent, and Ramakrishna, not knowing anything, seeing them, he started like crying, ma, 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 ma. and with that, he lost consciousness, total consciousness. And these ladies don't know what to do. They wanted to bring a fan and drinking water and putting water in his mouth and this and that to bring back his consciousness. And Ramakrishna is on another plane. The question of lust cannot touch him. That idea, it should be like reaction, far away. And then Mathur Babu, this prostitutes, when they went back, said that, why did you send us to such a person? You are a fool, you don't know. That these are examples, you know, these examples are really, we don't understand its depth unless it was mentioned in this way in the life of Ramakrishna. What is the question of any thought coming in the mind? It is so reactionary that he loses his all senses. And in the Bhagavad Gita it is said, Kurmangani va sarvasa. Their sense organs withdrew. We hear in the Bhagavad Gita. Who knows what is that thing? It says that the spiritual people who are in highly illumined people, their sense organs will be withdrawn and never to come out, like the tortoise. You can cut to pieces, the hands once withdrawn, never comes out. That's why kurma. So Ramakrishna is a living example there. World has never heard that way. Ramakrishna was tested with kama, kanchana. Kama, this is the kama side. Now the kanchana side. Kanchana, you know, Swami Vivekananda tested him. That story we all know. He could not touch coin, and his body bends. So Naren wants to test it. This is for us, for the whole humanity to know. Shiva can be what type of Shiva? What type of renunciation is possible? The world should know that history. What he did, you know, Ramakrishna went from Dakshineshwar in his own room and went to Ma Kali to salute Mother and sing some song or something, and he was coming back after that. And by this time, our Naren, future Vivekananda, he put a coin under the bed and sitting innocently. And Ramakrishna didn't know anything. And as he came, and he just wanted to sit on the bed. And as soon as he sat, he jumped out and cried out like a scorpion bite he has felt. Scorpion bite because of a piece of coin? History cannot give us another example like this. Yes, there is another example with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which was yesterday, day before yesterday was his birthday. ISKCON might have celebrated big way because Sri Chaitanya's birthday. Sri Chaitanya used to go to Samadhi. He was so absorbed in total renunciation that even his tongue, if you put sugar, it will be like dry. You have put the sugar in the dry leaf as it were. It does not get melted. Meaning, no touch or taste can pull them down from that samadhi level. So it is an extreme example of all these, that he actually, the simple coin, he under the bed, what the question of enjoying that? That created this reaction, and his body was as if scorpion biting pain, he felt it. Mathur, that one, there was a Mathur Babu passed away, and then Ramakrishna's daily needs were to be supplied, but there is nobody to look after. In the Rasmuni trust, those people who had the future, they didn't take care of him. So some Marwari devotees used to come to Ramakrishna. And when they come, he saw that Sri Ramakrishna's bed sheet is torn, a little dirty, and everything is disorganized. So he proposed that I shall give you 10,000 rupees and keep it as your asset. And in interest, in those days, 10,000 rupees means maybe, I don't know, 1 crore maybe nowadays. So much deep. And then Ramakrishna, see anyone, what will be the reaction and what is the Ramakrishna's reaction? Ramakrishna said, "You rascal, get out. What shall I do with your money?" And he said, "I felt a pain as if someone is with a saw machine chiseling my head. I felt that type of pain on that proposal itself." I will be happy, no? If someone comes with $10,000 and wants to give me, what will happen? I'll be very elated. Even no, not using for me, actually it will be used for some other purpose. But no, it is not the point. Renunciation has reached such a height, which Shiva's nature, we do not know how can it be manifested. And then you know the story that Marwari then went to give to Holy Mother. Holy Mother also ideal renunciation. She said, "No, I cannot take it. If I take, I will use it for his purpose. But if he is not willing, so what shall I do with it?" So it was rejected. See, these are examples of total renunciation. So Shiva is renunciation, Ramakrishna is renunciation. In him you don't find anything. Total renunciation means total God intoxication. That's why Shiva used to dance in his spiritual energy, spiritual realm, and forgetting this whole world and detaching from everything. It is no effort. So it is, and the service to serve people, to take out the suffering of people. That's the Shiva nature. How to redeem the suffering of people. Girish Ghosh, Dana Kali. These are the great names in Ramakrishna's contemporary time. They came in Ramakrishna's life, and they actually, what character they used to carry and what transformation had happened among them. That's a history. Sri Ramakrishna took away their sins and suffered himself. Otherwise, why the throat cancer? Why the suffering of the body? Holy Mother even said, "Why so much suffering in this body?" Holy Mother suffered for so many painful things. Why? Thousands, hundreds and hundreds of people coming, and she's taking their sins. Just to touch him, bas, you are free. It is gone to. That's why Holy Mother even said, one devotee initiated by Holy Mother, when he came back, said, "Ma, you take your mantra back." Well, why? Well, I have done such sinful action. I cannot tell you, Mom, and I don't want that you suffer for me. Let me suffer my sins. And Ma said, "What, my child? If the child soils his cloth, who cleans that? Is it mother or is the child?" It is mother's responsibility. I will take care of it. Don't worry about it. Go. This is the infinite compassion to take out the sins of others and suffer himself. Sri Ramakrishna suffered only for taking the sins of others. So this is the Shiva also, the example of holding the poison and giving the nectar to others. And all the gods and goddesses divided those nectar. But Shiva, the God of gods, all gods God, he only took the poison. Yeah. So this is the renunciation, this is the dedication, this is the sacrifice, that is this Shiva, and that is the Ramakrishna. If we compare our Sri Ramakrishna's life much more meticulously, every step we find. And also his mission is going on now. What is going on? See, this year is 125th year of Ramakrishna Mission's origin. It was set in 1897. Swami Vivekananda started. What is doing? The same flow of love as taught by Ramakrishna, as lived by Ramakrishna, as given by Vivekananda, as given by Brahmananda, the same spiritual thought current to help people from whatever level they are. Not that the world is too big. But Swami Vivekananda said, for one person, if anyone can get this done, that is our life success. No. And what is teaching the flow of spirituality, that this organization is doing that. That is Ramakrishna doing. Ramakrishna's renunciation. What he is doing, everyone helping everyone, seeing the Shiva in everyone to do the service. Shiva Gyane Jiva Shiva. And to either see Shiva in human being and try to serve as best as you can. So in the physical level, in the mental level, emotional level, intellectual level, spiritual level. That is Ramakrishna's mission. That's why it's called Ramakrishna Mission. Ramakrishna's mission. And that is the mission is to redeem the whole world. How? By helping them in whatever level the person is. So someone is in sick, our hospitals, schools, college, this is not like other hospitals. The hospital thinks, the workers think, Rogi Narayana. It is not a talk. If you go to Benares, if you go to our Vrindavan centers, the patients, one day the head Swami comes and worships them, washes their feet, give them garland, put them sandal paste, wave incense, flowers, money and clothing and good, everything like as we worship in the temple. One day they do it to remember this idea, Shiva in the Jiva. It's not theory, it's a practical thing. That's why we may not be successful. We are not perfect. This ideal is there, that Shiva is being served in all. So a person who is sick, give them medicine, hospital, doctor, and then that will be their problem. Who is uneducated, give them education. Schools, colleges, hospital, millions in Indian context, Ramakrishna Mission's activity going on. Here we have no such scope. If you go, then the temples are only temples and church places are there for bhajan, singing, prayer, the emotional and mental development. And spirituality, meditation, this, that instruction and teaching of the Vedantic principle. So this is the Ramakrishna who is an embodiment of all dedication, all sacrifice, all love. No other purpose. But this same principle is working through the organization, machine. And of course, as you see, machine is imperfect machines. Some may be perfect. We are imperfect, but some of us are perfect. So this is not the point. Point that this is the purpose of all the devotees who come to Vedanta and the monks who live here to think that it is their service to God in service to person. It's a person I see, that service I am doing unconsciously. It is Shiva worship. And this renunciation, this service, this purity of the heart, this love, this unconditional love for humanity is the Shiva nature, and that Shiva nature is manifested through Ramakrishna. Thank you all. Om Durito Dalana Daksham Dakshaja Datta Dosham Kolita Koli Kalankam Kambra Kalhara Kantam Parahita Karanayo Prana Vicheda Suktam Nayana Natanayana Nijuktam Nilakantang Namama Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Him who destroys sin and removes the dark stain of our age, whose benign eyes watch over all who have surrendered to him, who joyously sacrifices himself for the good of others, whose throat is blue from the drinking of the poison intended for others, him lustrous as the white water lily, him I salute. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. Who is the next Sunday lecturing?
We'll look it up.
Oh. Vidyaprana? Is it? One should give it here. Oh, so next Sunday Vidyaprana. What is the topic? Give me a copy.
It's about fearlessness.
Okay. So fearlessness, you will hear. Fearlessness.
Exploring fear and fearlessness.
So, her topic is exploring fear and fearlessness. That is by Vidyaprana on the 27th next Sunday. And other classes will be as usual. 4:30 Tuesday classes on Bhagavat, 7:30 on Tuesday, Santi Gita, and then all other days also Santi Gita, and then Sunday, Wednesday as we do the Ramakrishna Gospel, and Thursdays Vedic Christianity and Vivekananda's Karma Yoga, all are going on together, and Atma Vidyananda Swami on Friday, and there will be the Abhedananda Swami's Living Wisdom. So please join as much as you can, and online also it is available. And now I am available for a few minutes for any question you have.
Pranam Maharaj. How does one reconcile Shiva as the sadhu par excellence, as well as one who bestows worldly grace? In one sense, I'm afraid to ask Shiva for anything worldly because I don't want to interrupt his meditation, but in another sense, how will he ever empathize with this dream world of mine, and wouldn't his suffering be his grace? Because that's the only way I'm going to get over my attachments. So if I ask him for wealth, shouldn't he give me poverty? If I ask him for pleasure, must he not give me pain? If he truly loved me, that is, you know.
Pleasure and pain, yes. So you are in the life. If we are in the life, pleasure and pain will be there. You are not in the Shiva Nation. When you are steeped into Shiva nature, duality vanishes. When you come back from that level, there comes infinite compassion for humanity. And there comes the duties and responsibilities as you come down, 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 down. Ramakrishna, he is a Shiva, I told. But Ramakrishna is asking Holy Mother, how many chapatis you eat? He said, oh, Ma was very upset with that question. She's asking me how many chapatis I eat, but 4 to 5 how? No, his intention is, because when I will not be here, Ramakrishna, he is a Paramahamsa. He cannot keep his cloth in his body. Samadhi, samadhi, samadhi. Responsibility comes. He is married. So, how to arrange for her future days? If that much is this chapati, then per day expense is this, 30 days will be something. So monthly will be like that, yearly will be like that, and that much investment should be done for her, so that she is not in difficulty. So that was her intention. So when you come in the realm of duality, you must have to have a dutiful person. Shiva is in samadhi. But when he is showing the ideal, love has an intense love. The wife could not tolerate the insult of the husband in abusive words. What Daksha, her father, did. And she gave up the body. Ideal is on this side. Another side, as a husband, he has a duty. What? You touch my wife? That's why I said that all the young girls in India, they want Shiva as a husband, not Rama. Because this is the one characteristic. I'm not saying Rama is, that is to be understood differently. But I'm saying, what I'm saying is that when you come to the duality, you are bound to do your responsibility. I am a Paramahamsa. Okay, you are in Samadhi. If you are in this level, you have to do things. No. See Ramakrishna Mission sadhus. I am in Samadhi. I am in meditation. No, you are working. Are you working perfectly? Are you doing your duties? If you don't do, get some scolding. Huh? So why? Why? I become monk. I should do. I don't. My mind is in God. I do the things recklessly. No. Oh no. So those are the things. It is to show those ideals in the society. That is the ideal when you are in the realm of duality, you are in the realm of in a family. So you have your duties, responsibilities. You will have to take care of all those things. When you are in samadhi, no one will ask you. No one goes to Ramakrishna for anything when you are in samadhi. So Shiva in samadhi state is that absolute state. And there is no duty, no responsibility, no good, no bad, beyond all duality. But when Shiva comes down in the level of this, every responsibility is there, every duty is to be done perfectly as an ideal for the society to learn and teach. No? Ramakrishna did himself. Ramakrishna is thinking about, oh, Rakhal has come, sending news to mother, prepare food for Rakhal. Rakhal likes this type of food. Huh? Why are you instructing that thing? You are in samadhi. No, there is Rakhal. Rakhal is Rakhal. Rakhal is not Nonen. He is teaching Nonen in one way, Rakhal in another way. See, according to one's own taste. And there is a mission, how to fulfill those missions. So there is the greater responsibility of them. And in our life also we should have to do. We should not impose on ourselves, I am a monk. Are a monk, so go. Even in samadhi you are a monk. But when you come down and you are working for your purification, take this process as laid down by Ramakrishna, as Vivekananda has said. Or if you don't like, go to the other organization where another principle is followed. But be free, this is the whole of religion. To be pure and self-serving and giving, that is the ideal. So do that. We cannot just compromise those two ideals. No?
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Wow. Yes, we are reading today Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga ideal. So, ideal is a duty, no? What is the duty? So, householder's duty is householder's duty. Monk's duty, monk's duty. That one sadhu, we read today, Swami Vivekananda saying, that he was meditating under the tree and a leaf fell down on his head and he looked at that and there was a crow and crane, or he looked at that and by that it became burnt. And you dare to let some dropping of something fell on me. And then he thought, I am a yogi, I have become a big powerful person. So I am greater than any householder. But he has to go for begging. So he went to begging and begging to one home. And he said, Ma, give me some food. And the lady from inside says that, please, my child, please wait, I am coming. And she is little delayed. And that time she is thinking, what? She does not know I am a yogi? I can burn and I have so much power. And she is not listening, she is asking me to wait. As soon as that thought came, the lady said from outside, my child, it is not like you are burning the crow or crane. I am serving my husband, ill husband, I'll do my duty first and then I'll come to you. And then he got back to his senses. Then he waited. And when, after waiting for long, when he came back, then he said, Ma, how do you know all these things? She said, I do not know about all these duties and shastras and scriptures. I only do my service duty, responsibility, whatever duty. My husband's duty I do. And when I was young, I served my mom and dad. And when I'm in the husband's house, I do this duty. And I do not know, this has come out to me. And you want to get some knowledge, go to a butcher. When you send it to the butcher. And butcher is cutting the meat and this and, hey, this is a spiritual person. Hey. And he will teach me what knowledge he has. Then he also, after finishing his work, make him wait. And then he went to home, took care of his mom and dad. And then after finishing that, then he said, you come, now what is your question? Then he gave that advice which is called Vyadha Gita. The Gita, the song of God, addressed by Vyadha. So, you see, wisdom by doing the duty. So when you are there, be a perfect, responsible person. Sometimes we make a spirituality confused in our life. I'm a spiritual person, I have no responsibility for my children. I have no responsibility for my wife. No, you cannot do that. Or husband, you have to have those responsibilities. And then go beyond the responsibility. Thank you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. So, we'll go to see you here, greet you. I will be using my mask now.